My day always begins the same way. The 8:04 train from Ashbury to Euston. It rattles along the tracks, a familiar rhythm in a life that has lost its own. I sit in the same seat if I can, watching the world rush by in a blur of greens and greys. Houses, gardens and lives I can only guess at. But there is one house I always look for. It's number 15, just past the signal where the train always stops. I know this house. I know the people who live there, or at least I think I do. I have given them names. I call them Jess and Jason. They are the perfect couple, a snapshot of a life I once dreamed of having for myself. From my window on the train, I see their lives unfold in small, perfect moments. I see Jess on their back terrace, her coffee cup steaming in the morning air. Sometimes Jason is with her, his arm wrapped around her shoulders. They laugh. They look happy. They look like they have everything. They are young, beautiful, and so in love. Their life seems golden, untroubled by the darkness that clouds my own. I imagine their conversations, the easy way they move around each other, a dance of complete trust and affection. They represent a kind of hope, a reminder that perfect happiness exists somewhere in the world, even if it is not for me. I build stories for them in my head. Jason is a doctor, perhaps, someone kind and protective. Jess is an artist or works in fashion, creative and full of life. They have no children yet, but they will. Their future is a bright, clear path stretching out before them. This is my game, my small comfort during the long, empty journey. I am not just a passenger on a train. I am a privileged observer of their perfect world. This daily ritual gives me something to hold on to, a brief escape from the mess I have made of my own life. It is a harmless fantasy, a way to pass the time. Or so I tell myself. The train moves on and I leave them behind, carrying the image of their happiness with me. It's a strange sort of comfort. I am the girl on the train, watching from a distance, invisible to them. They don't know I exist, and they never will. I am just a face in a passing window. But they are more than that to me. They are my anchor to a world that feels increasingly distant. Their imagined perfection is the only beautiful thing I have left to look at, a stark contrast to the ugliness I see every time I look in the mirror or at the bottom of an empty bottle. I need them to be perfect. I need their story to have a happy ending. My own life is nothing like the one I imagine for Jess and Jason. It is a wreck, a slow-motion crash I can't seem to stop. I live with my friend Kathy, who tries to be patient but is growing tired of my habits. She thinks I go to work in London every day. She doesn't know I lost my job months ago. The train ride is a lie, a performance to maintain the illusion of a normal life. I can't bear to tell her the truth. I can't bear to admit how far I have fallen. So every morning I get on the train just like I used to. It is the only routine I have left, the only thing that feels real anymore. The divorce from Tom shattered me. It broke me into a million pieces and I haven't been able to put myself back together. He was my world, my everything. And then he left me for another woman, Anna. They live in our old house now, the one on Blenheim Road, just a few doors down from Jess and Jason. Sometimes the train stops long enough for me to see my old life, my old garden, with Anna and her baby living in it. It is a special kind of torture. I see the life that should have been mine, stolen away. The pain is a physical thing, a constant ache in my chest that never goes away. To numb the pain, I drink. I drink too much, far too much. The alcohol is a fog that dulls the sharp edges of my memory and my grief. It helps me forget, but it also creates new problems. There are blackouts, gaps in time where I don't know what I have done or where I have been. I wake up with bruises I can't explain and a feeling of deep, gnawing shame. I call Tom when I'm drunk, leaving him angry, rambling messages. I know I shouldn't. I know it only makes things worse. But in those blurry, desperate moments, I can't stop myself. The drinking is a symptom of my broken heart, but it is also a cage I am building around myself. My reflection is a stranger to me now. I see a woman who is puffy-faced and sad, her eyes empty. This is not the Rachel I used to be. I was happy once. I had a career, a husband, a home. Now I have nothing but a seat on a train and a cheap can of gin and tonic hidden in my bag. The contrast between my life and the one I see at number 15 is a cruel joke. They have love, stability, a future. I have regrets, loneliness, and a past I can't escape. Watching them is both a comfort and a constant, painful reminder of everything I have lost. One day, everything changes. It is a Friday and the train stops at the signal as usual. I look towards the house expecting to see the familiar scene of domestic bliss. But what I see today is not perfect. It is wrong. It is ugly. Jess is on the terrace, but she is not alone. And she is not with Jason. She is with another man, a man I have never seen before. He is dark-haired and he is kissing her. She is kissing him back. It is not a friendly kiss. It is passionate, desperate. My perfect story shatters in an instant. The image burns into my mind, a betrayal not just of her husband, but of the fantasy I had so carefully constructed. I feel a strange and powerful rage bubble up inside me. How could she do this? She has everything. She has the perfect husband, the perfect life. Why would she risk it all for this stranger? My hands clench into fists. It feels personal, like she has betrayed me. All my own pain and anger over Tom's affair comes rushing back, hot and suffocating. I want to shout at her from the train window to tell her what a fool she is. The train lurches forward and the scene disappears from view, but the image is seared into my memory. The crack in their perfect world feels like a crack in my own fragile sanity. The rest of the journey into London is a blur. I can't stop thinking about what I saw. Jess, the woman I admired, is a liar, an adulterer, just like Anna, just like Tom. The thought makes me sick. My fantasy was a lie, a hollow story I told myself to feel better. The perfection was an illusion. This realization is devastating. It means that nowhere is safe, that even the most beautiful surfaces can hide ugly secrets. The anger I feel towards her is mixed with a confusing sense of disappointment. I had placed all my hopes for happiness onto this stranger, and she had thrown it all away. That evening, the anger simmers inside me, fueled by alcohol. The betrayal I witnessed feels like my own. It mirrors my past so closely that I can't separate my feelings from hers. I think about Tom and Anna, about their lies and the destruction they caused. I think about Jess and her perfect husband Jason, who knows nothing. The injustice of it all is overwhelming. I feel a desperate need to do something, to intervene, to fix what I saw. I'm no longer just a passive observer. I have seen something I shouldn't have, and it has pulled me out of my seat on the train and into their lives, whether I belong there or not. A few days later, the news breaks. It is everywhere, on the television, in the newspapers. A young woman from Whitney has gone missing. Her name is Megan Hipwell. I see her picture and my blood runs cold. It's her. It's Jess. My Jess from the train. She's not a fantasy character anymore. She is a real person with a real name, and she has disappeared. The last time she was seen was on Saturday night, the day after I saw her kissing that other man on her terrace. The police are asking for anyone with information to come forward, and I have information. I saw something. My obsession with Megan, which was once a harmless pastime, now becomes an all-consuming mission. I feel a terrible, crushing guilt. I saw her. I saw her with another man. Was that connected to her disappearance? Did her husband Scott, not Jason as I had imagined, find out? I replay the scene over and over in my head. The kiss. The other man. It must be important. I feel like I hold a crucial piece of the puzzle, but I don't know what to do with it. The police would never take me seriously. A drunk, unemployed woman who spies on people from a train. They would dismiss me instantly. But I can't let it go. Megan's disappearance feels like my fault, in a strange, illogical way. If I hadn't built this fantasy around her, maybe I wouldn't feel so responsible. I scour the news for every detail. I learn her real name, her husband's name. I learn that they lived at number 15 Blenheim Road. My made-up world collides violently with reality. I feel an urgent need to help, to find out what happened to her. It's more than just curiosity. It is a desperate attempt to find purpose, to do something right in a life filled with so many wrongs. Finding Megan feels like a way to find myself again. I decide I have to go to the police. It's a risk, but I can't live with the silence. I have to tell them what I saw. The problem is, my memory of that Saturday, the day Megan went missing, is a complete blank. I know I was in the area. I remember getting off the train at Whitney, full of drunken rage and a sense of injustice. I remember walking down Blenheim Road, but after that there is nothing, just a black hole. I woke up the next morning at home, covered in blood and bruises, with a deep gash on my head and no idea how I got there. I have to find out what happened that night, not just for Megan, but for me. My memory is my greatest enemy. It's, a broken, unreliable thing, full of holes and shadows, especially from that Saturday night. I try to piece it together, but the fragments just don't connect. I remember the underpass near the station, the smell of damp concrete. I remember feeling angry, so angry. I remember shouting at someone, but who and why? The harder I try to remember, the more the details slip away like sand through my fingers. The blackout is terrifying. I could have done anything. I could have seen anything. I could have been a witness, or worse, I could have been involved. The fear is a cold knot in my stomach. To uncover the truth, I have to retrace my steps. I start by going back to the police. I tell them I was in the area that night, that I might have seen something. I lie and say I was with a friend, just to make myself sound more credible. I tell them about Megan and the other man. The detective, a woman named Riley, is skeptical. She can see right through me. She knows I'm a mess, but she listens. Giving them this information makes me feel a little better, like I am finally doing something useful. But it also makes me a person of interest. They ask me where I was, what I did, and I can't give them a straight answer. I know the key to Megan's disappearance is locked inside my own head. I have to get it out. I try everything. I walk the route from the station to Blenheim Road again and again, hoping a sight or a sound will trigger a memory. I try to drink less, hoping clarity will return. It's a slow, painful process. Flashes of memory return to me in my dreams or at unexpected moments. A flash of blue, a dress, a car, a man's angry face shouting at me, a sense of falling. Each fragment is a clue, but it's also a torment, raising more questions than answers. Was I hurt? Did I hurt someone else? My desperation grows. I feel like I'm in a race against time. I need to know what happened before the police decide I am the main suspect. My unreliable memory makes me question my own innocence. What if I did something terrible that night? What if I stumbled upon Megan and her killer, and in my drunken state I got hurt? The not knowing is the worst part. It eats away at me. I have to find the truth, no matter how ugly it is. My search for what happened to Megan has become a frantic search for my own actions on that lost, terrible night. This story is not just mine. It belongs to 3 women, our lives tangled together in a web of secrets and lies. There is me, Rachel, the girl on the train, watching from the outside, trying to piece together a truth I can't remember. My perspective is blurred by alcohol and grief, a distorted lens on the world. I see things, but I don't always understand them. I am an unreliable narrator of my own life, let alone anyone else's. My journey is about trying to climb out of the fog, to find a truth that feels solid under my feet, even if that truth is horrifying. Then there is Megan. Through her own words, told in sessions with her therapist, we see the woman behind the face in the window. Her life was far from perfect. She was not the happy goddess I imagined. She was a woman haunted by a dark past, full of secrets she could never share with her husband, Scott. She felt trapped, suffocated by the suburban life he wanted. Her affair was not a simple betrayal. It was a desperate act of self-destruction, a cry for help from a woman who was drowning. Her story reveals the deep cracks beneath the perfect surface I had admired for so long. And finally, there is Anna. She is the woman who has my old life. She is Tom's new wife, the mother of his child. From the outside, she seems to have everything I lost. But her perspective shows a different reality. She lives in constant fear. Fear of me, the crazy ex-wife who won't leave them alone. But she also lives with a growing unease about Tom. She sees his temper, his ability to lie, his controlling nature. She tries to convince herself that she is safe, that her family is perfect, but a seed of doubt has been planted. She is trapped in her own golden cage, beginning to realize that the man she married might not be the man she thought he was. Our 3 stories weave together, each one providing a different piece of the puzzle. My observations, Megan's confessions, and Anna's growing fears all point toward a dark truth that none of us can see on our own. We are all connected by one man, Tom. He's my ex-husband, Anna's current husband, and as I will come to discover, he was also Megan's lover. The man I saw her kissing on the terrace was not a stranger. It was Tom. Our separate narratives, filled with our own pain and deception, are on a collision course, heading toward a single terrible revelation. As I dig deeper, the secrets begin to spill out, unraveling the tidy lives I thought I understood. The biggest shock comes when I realize who Megan's secret lover was. It was my ex-husband Tom, The man I saw her with on the terrace was him. The memory clicks into place with a sickening jolt. This revelation changes everything. It connects me directly to the heart of the mystery. Megan wasn't just a stranger I watched from the train. She was entangled with the man who destroyed my life. The betrayal feels fresh, a new wound on top of old scars. It proves that Tom's capacity for lies and deceit runs deeper than I ever imagined. This discovery forces me to confront other lies, especially the ones Tom told me about myself. For years, he convinced me that I was the problem. He told me I was a violent, unstable drunk. He would describe things I had supposedly done during my blackouts. Shouting, throwing things, hurting myself. I believed him because I couldn't remember. I was so full of shame and self-loathing that his version of events seemed plausible. He was the calm, patient husband, and I was the hysterical, out-of-control wife. His gaslighting was so effective that I came to believe I was a monster. I accepted his narrative of my own failure. But now, seeing his lies about Megan, I start to question everything. What if the things he said I did never happened? What if he was the one who was violent? I remember waking up with bruises, with a sense of fear I couldn't explain. He always had a story for how I got them. I fell, I walked into a door, I attacked him and he had to restrain me. I believed him. But now a new terrifying possibility emerges. What if he was the one who hurt me? What if he used my drinking and my blackouts as a cover for his own abuse? The foundation of my past begins to crumble. The secrets are not just Tom's. Megan had her own. I learned from her therapist, whom I approached by pretending to be a friend, that Megan had a baby when she was a teenager. The baby died tragically in an accident, a secret she carried with her like a stone. This explains the sadness I sometimes saw in her eyes, the desperation that led her into an affair. Her husband Scott was controlling and angry, but he didn't know her deepest secret. Everyone in this story was hiding something. Everyone was lying, to others and to themselves. The perfect lives I saw from the train were a complete fiction, masking pain, trauma, and terrible deceit. With the truth about Tom's affair with Megan exposed, my own memories of that fateful Saturday night begin to sharpen. It's like a fog is finally lifting. I remember seeing Tom's car on Blenheim Road. I remember getting out of the train, furious and drunk, determined to confront him. I remember the underpass, and I remember seeing Tom there, arguing with Megan. He was angry. I heard her say she was pregnant. She was telling him she was going to tell everyone. The memory comes back in a rush of terror and clarity. I remember Tom turning on me, his face twisted with rage. He hit me. He was the one who gave me the gash on my head. I realize now that Tom has been manipulating me for years. He painted me as the crazy, violent drunk to everyone, including Anna and the police. It was the perfect cover for his own behavior. If I ever accused him of anything, who would believe me? I was just the bitter, unstable ex-wife. He used my alcoholism as a weapon against me, twisting my reality until I couldn't trust my own mind. He was the monster, but he had convinced me and everyone else that the monster was me. Understanding this is both terrifying and liberating. I am not crazy. I am not violent. I was abused. My suspicion solidifies into certainty. Tom killed Megan. He had a motive. She was going to expose their affair and her pregnancy, which would have destroyed his new, perfect life with Anna. He had the opportunity. He was with her that night, and he had the violent temper. I remember seeing him hit her just before he turned and hit me. The pieces of the puzzle fall into place, forming a horrifying picture. He buried her body in the woods near the railway tracks, a place he knew well. A place I passed on the train every single day, never knowing her body was so close. I know I have to make someone believe me. Going to the police with these fragmented, newly recovered memories is still risky. They see me as an unreliable witness. So I decide to go to the one person who might listen, the one person who is also in danger. Anna. I have to warn her. I have to make her see the man she is living with for who he truly is. It's a dangerous plan. I have to go back to that house, my old house, and face the man who has haunted my life for so long. I know he is capable of anything, but I also know that I am the only one who knows the complete truth. I go to the house on Blenheim Road. My heart is pounding, but my mind is clear. For the first time in a long time, I am not drunk. I find Anna at home, and I tell her everything. I tell her about Tom's affair with Megan, about the pregnancy, about what I saw in the underpass. At first she refuses to believe me. She sees me as the enemy, the madwoman who has been harassing her family. But as I speak, laying out the facts, she sees the truth in my eyes. My story aligns with her own growing fears about Tom's temper and his lies. She remembers him coming home late that Saturday night with scratches on his hands. The seed of doubt I plant begins to grow into terror. Tom comes home and the confrontation begins. He walks in to find me in his kitchen, talking to his wife. His mask of the calm, reasonable husband slips immediately. He tries to use his old tactics, telling Anna that I am crazy, that I am making things up. But this time it doesn't work. Anna and I are united against him, two women who have been deceived by the same man. We challenge him, and as we do, his rage explodes. He confesses. He admits to killing Megan. He says it was an accident, that he just wanted to shut her up, but the violence in his voice tells a different story. He killed her in a fit of rage and buried her to save himself. As his confession turns into a violent tirade, he turns on me. He advances, his eyes full of hatred. He blames me for everything, for ruining his life. In that moment, I am not afraid. All the fear that has crippled me for years is gone, replaced by a cold, clear instinct for survival. Anna, seeing the danger, tells me to run, but I stand my ground. I see the corkscrew on the kitchen counter, the one I had brought as a gift for Kathy. As Tom lunges at me, I grab it. I don't think. I just react. I plunge the corkscrew into his neck. It is an act of pure self-defense, a final desperate move to save my own life. Anna watches in horror, then helps me push it in deeper, ensuring he can't hurt us anymore. The aftermath is quiet. The monster is gone. When the police arrive, Anna and I tell them the truth. Our stories finally aligned. They find Megan's body right where I told them it would be. For the first time, I'm believed. I am seen not as a suspect, but as a victim who fought back. As I leave that house for the last time, I feel a profound sense of release. The weight that I have been carrying for so long is finally lifted. I am free from Tom, free from the lies, and free from the shame that he forced upon me. The train ride will be different now. I am no longer just the girl on the train, watching other people's lives. I am a woman who has reclaimed her own.